Hello Libra, great to have you here. My name is Shona. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Libra. And I have a different spread laid out for this month, and I believe I'm going to be using it throughout this year as well because it's pretty helpful. And so this is the natal astrology chart wheel, and it's divided into 12 houses. Each house represents like a very different aspect of your life. And so I have drawn out 12 cards, one card for each house to channel the energy to see as more like preventative measures so that we can identify some of the sore spots in certain areas of your life. And once these things are identified, if it resonates with you, then you can take active steps to changing it so that it doesn't become a problem or it doesn't. First of all, the first card out here is the Ace of Wands. This represents your first house. And the first house represents your the face that you. This is a card about inspiration. This is a card about new projects being had and somebody who generally feels very, very happy, very optimistic, and a little bit more ambitious, a major goal-getter. Okay, so you're coming into this month and other people see you as very eager, very enthusiastic, very passionate about something. And I feel that, the way you talk, the way you act, I feel like you're a lot more animated. Okay, so this is a positive card. It indicates enthusiasm. It indicates like love and passion for life and having exciting new things to talk about. So there's this energy bubbling all around you. You're a lot more talkative. You're a lot more outgoing. And I feel overall this is a very, very positive energy to bring into the what we have here is the Judgment card in the reverse position. So this is usually, contracts not being signed just yet. There is some type of holdup. There is some type of a delay in getting the money that is owed to you. Either, a signature on a form was not signed in the appropriate place, or it was signed but it was not dropped off with the right authority figure. And so I feel that there is some delay in getting some money to you, and there is some delay as it relates to paperwork and some contract. Okay, so just expect that for January. As it relates to your value system, this is a family card. This is kind of like some type of a communion between different people. I feel that when it comes to your value system, they're saying that your value system are things that you are going to have to cultivate on your own, are things that you're going to have to decide within yourself, like using your own feelings, your own emotions to be your own internal compass. Because I feel like for some reason there's some blockages when it comes to transmitting values through the traditional route, which is, through families, through the first people that we socialize with, our parents, our siblings, and the people in our environment, and then, educators and friends. So I feel like there's some blockages, and there might be some disagreement between different people that we value, different people that we love, and the values that they have passed down to us. So, dad might want you to behave a certain way. Mom might want you to behave a certain way, for example. So there's kind of like this conflict between who is actually right and what is it that you really value. So I feel like this is a process where you're going to have to re-examine what it is that you really believe in as an individual, independent of what your family, your school environment, your social group, your peer group. You're going to have to like dig a little bit deeper in order to figure out what it is that you truly value, and relying on your instinct, relying on that emotional gut reaction to see like whether or not something is right, whether or not something is wrong, rather than listening to what people expect you to do. Okay, the third house deals with siblings, and it also deals with communication. So for those of you who might have siblings, we do have a person showing up as this. This could be a sister or a brother. So the gender cards are still not gender specific. So first of all, you might have a water sign, a Pisces, a Cancer, or a Scorpio coming into your environment. And, this might be like a sibling that you are literally dealing with, okay? This is somebody who is a little bit, I want to say like jaded with life and a little bit heartbroken over some type of a relationship that went awry. And I feel like they're a little bit they need a shoulder to lean on. They need somebody to vent to. And I feel in a way there's this victim mentality about them. It's kind of like, woe is me, why can't everything go my way? But I also feel that, they might have a habit of making bad decisions. So for example, if it's a sister who has like a series of bad relationships with men who are irresponsible, I feel that, you want to tell her, how you see it. But I do feel like a bigger part of you is just like, no, I want to be protective, okay? And then likewise, if you have a male sibling that's going through the same thing, series of bad girlfriends or relationship partners, or even like a series of bad jobs where they feel underappreciated, I feel that you want to tell them the truth, which is that, life is what you put into it. I do feel that, you want to soften the blow a little bit, because I feel siblings coming to you with their own problems. And they might be prone to having that victim mentality where they can't really see outside of themselves. They can't really see how their actions have contributed to aggravate a situation. So I do sense like they're internalizing it, and or rather externalizing it and thinking that it's coming from their environment and not taking ownership of the things they're doing to aggravate the situation. Okay, as it relates to your communication with the Queen of Cups in the reverse, be very, very careful about ego games. Is I guess like the right expression. And what I mean by that is, sometimes when we are a little bit hurt, then I feel like rather than telling the other person, hey, don't do that, it hurts my feelings, I feel that a lot of you get hurt and you withdraw. So I'm getting a very Cancerian vibe with you guys for this month. I feel like you're coming in very enthusiastic, very optimistic about something, and then somebody could, make you say something and just deflate your ego. And then rather than telling them, hey, that's not nice, I feel that a lot of you might want to be, conflict avoidant. You might want to avoid aggravating the situation. So then you withdraw and then you seethe in silence, okay? So be careful about communicating. Say what needs to be said in a way that induces behavioral change in other people. If you don't like something, if you feel like, hey, somebody's being hurtful, just really stand up and say your piece, because I feel like they might not be aware of it. So bringing it to light, bringing it to their attention would be actually very good for you, because I feel like, if you're feeling like this, very optimistic, and all of a sudden somebody says one thing that really puts you down, I do feel as if, it's within your right to tell them not to do a specific thing, okay? So communication needs to be very, very thorough and very clear for this month. What I'm also feeling is a few of you, you might be feeling very passionate, about whoever you're dating, whoever you're courting, whoever you're dating. And you might just want to have like a one night stand with them. And as a result of it, like you want to court them. You feel there is some issues with communication where somebody is not expressing themselves in a very clear and easy to understand manner. So there's some emotional manipulation going through in your communication sector, okay? What I'm also feeling as well, the fourth card, the fourth house, deals with the family environment, as well as the card of the mother, the card that represents the mother. So we have here the Ten of Wands, and the Ten of Wands is a person that is they're pushing against the tides. They have a lot of responsibilities on their plate, and they were somebody that took care of everything. So I feel that you guys, you have you come up in an environment with a mother who is very, very independent. For a lot of you, she might have been the main breadwinner within the household. And then for others of you, I feel like single mothers, okay? So this is a little bit more gender specific, because we're dealing with a specific house that deals with a specific person. So I feel like you grew up in an environment where the mother had a lot of strength, a lot of sway, She could be, strong, very emotionally strong, physically strong. She took care of all the responsibilities, and she's not somebody who's a whiner and a complainer. And then others of you might literally be in a household where, the mother might be the one that makes all the money, or she could be like a single mother in whatever capacity. She could be a single mother and she had a lot of responsibilities on her plate. And I feel that, growing up with somebody like this, it almost feels as if, it can go two ways actually. I feel like a lot of you might be inspired to work hard and, earn your own money and to take care of her. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we might have somebody like this where they had to take care of practical responsibilities, bills, car payment, driving the kids to school, making sure everybody is fed, making sure the house is clean, making sure the dogs are walked. And so they might not have the time to have that emotional connection with you. And so I feel like on the one hand, they're there, but on the other hand, you feel emotionally neglected in that relationship. You felt as if she didn't have time for you. And so rather than wanting to grow up and emulate, wanting to be this person or wanting to take care of this person, I feel that you might go the opposite direction where you might have a little bit of resentment because she was not available to take care of you on the emotional level. As it relates to the family as well, this is the card of the mother and also the family that you grew up in. I feel honestly, some of you might be single children. Like you might grow up in an environment where there might not have been a great rapport with siblings. Like for whatever reason, you might not be very close to your siblings. You might not divulge secrets with siblings, and you might not have had like a very strong bond with one another. So everyone did their own thing. You could also be the only child where, all the responsibilities, all the tasks, all the chores were kind of like laid on you, mainly because there isn't another sibling to delegate to or to, split the responsibilities between. So if you were also, grown up in an environment early on in childhood where you had to take care of everything, you might also be the oldest child. You had to take care of everything. There might be some resentment here that needs to be released, okay? They're saying like a lot of burdens coming in from growing up in an environment that might not have been very stable. And so there's a little bit of like this this need to want to revert to that childhood state where somebody takes care of us again. So I feel that energy coming through for this month. Feeling a little bit like, so for example, you might feel like you might be in a situation where somebody says something that makes you feel kind of like unloved, unappreciated, and emotionally like distraught. And so it triggers something in childhood that it could also, cause a situation or a similar situation might have happened in childhood where you felt the same way. And so I feel like, there needs to be some type of sorting out something within your family unit, the family that you grew up in, so that you can heal and so that you're not defensive or you're not too sensitive when engaging with other people, okay? And more importantly, meaningful communication is the most important thing. But when when something triggers something else from childhood, we automatically get into defensive mode and we act instinctively and without, having the ability to thoroughly sort out our feelings and plan out what we're going to say. So I do see something like that coming through here. It might be a trigger for some of you for this month. In terms of the family unit that you have created for yourself, so this is, grown up. Like after you've grown up, you move out and you start your own family, for example. There's a lot of responsibilities in the household. This is the card about being shuffling around, moving every few years, like upgrading to a new place or downgrading your house environment. So moving every few years, having to like move around quite a bit. And so this is like carrying all your stuff with you literally, like picking up all the pieces and moving on. So I feel like there might have been a recent house move for some of you. You're moving to a new place that might be bigger and you're setting roots. So I do feel new houses coming through very strongly for many of you. There might be new additions to the family. like new people moving in, new people moving out. And so the house environment itself, it's very it's thriving and it's very robust. Okay. The fifth house deals with fun, creativity, and it can also deal, it's the house of children as well. So we have the Page of Wands. For those of you who are old enough to have children right now, you might literally have a child who is a fire sign, a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo, sun, moon, or rising. And this is a very, very fun, exciting, adventure-seeking type of a child. This is a child who's very, very curious about the world. And I'm getting somebody reading to their child, and the child keeps saying, can you read that one story about that dragon over and over and over again? So like every night you're reading the same story to your child. That's I'm getting that specific message for somebody out there. So I feel like you might be having you might be literally just, this might be a child that is in your environment, and I feel that it is a biological child, or adopted child, somebody that you consider your own child. So this is a child that needs a lot of guidance. Okay, they're very curious about the world, and they have a very strong, like a very good heart and a strong moral compass, and it's really important to cultivate that sense of wonder about the world, so that they continue to become optimistic, and they continue to believe that good things happen, so that they don't become jaded. Okay, because I feel like they might need your attention sometime for this month. In terms of creativity and fun, excitement, this is like a social house. So I feel that, it reflects like the people that are in your midst, and the people that you are going out with, or even having fun with. It could be friend, or it could be somebody you're casually dating as well. So we have a fire sign coming into the picture. And fire signs are, once again, Sagittarius, Aries, or Leo. This might be somebody that you are romantically involved with, who is very generous, very loving, very, very caring. So this is the energy that they're bringing to the table. The sixth house deals with work, health, and your daily routine. With the sun in the reverse, health is not looking too great. A lot of you might be coming down with something for this month. If you are taking care of a lot of responsibilities, if you're moving, if you're constantly shifting around, I do feel the health realm is going to be affected, okay? So the sun, which basically means vitality, if it's in the reverse in the health house, it's not looking too good. So take care of yourself. Get your daily dose of vitamin C. Stay warm if you are in the northern hemisphere, and stay warm. It is winter time here, so keep yourself hydrated and stay indoors, and stay warm. What I'm also feeling as well with your work situation, I feel that a lot of you are in a work environment and you like it and you stay there because it's exciting. But in terms of it being a career, I feel that a lot of you know that it's not a career track, okay? It's like it pays the bills, the money is there, but there isn't opportunities for promotions. There isn't opportunities for advancement, like long-term growth potential, or even opportunities to advance above the position that you start out with. So I feel like it's fun, it's exciting. It might even be part-time, but I feel like it's draining your vitality as well. So I feel like work affecting your overall health, physical health, mental health, okay? So these are areas to look out for. If you're in an environment where you're just definitely not happy, don't let it affect your emotional health or even your physical health, because I see that coming through as well. In terms of your daily activity, with the sun in the reverse, I feel like low energy. So you're starting right off the bat with a lot of enthusiasm, but I feel like towards, the second half of the month, you're going to start to feel this drainage when it comes to your vitality, your overall energy level, your metabolism, and things like that. Also, with the fifth house, the sun in the reverse in the sixth house, weight gain for this month is actually also quite high. So, just something to keep an eye out for, okay? Because I feel like a slowdown in your metabolism overall. You might not be as active as you're used to in the past, okay? The seventh house deals with relationships, and this is going to be partnerships in love and partnerships in business. So if you have a business partner, I feel that you're dealing with somebody who is very, very generous. And this is a card about karma, and it's very good karma. Like good karma coming back in, like you've paid it forward in a previous incarnation, or you have paid it forward in a previous time, and now good karma is coming back to find you. So I do feel, they're saying like money coming back to the sender. So I feel like you if you have been in a business partnership with somebody, you guys are going to can expect a big financial windfall coming through for your business venture. And likewise, if you both have been, helping a lot of people with your business, I do sense that there are a lot of clients coming through as well. So overall, it looks very positive when it comes to partnership. I feel like either way, the partner that you have is a very, very generous, is a very giving and very loving type of a person. This is a card about generosity, people helping others out who are unable to take care of themselves. So I feel like there is you might fall sick and your partner is stepping in to take care of you, and they're doing it in a way where, it's not patronizing. It's more like, I care about you, I just want to be there. So I feel like there's a lot of generosity, reciprocity, and back and forth, mutual rapport between partners for this month. It looks very good. Now, in terms of your eighth house deals with joint finances. It deals with, sex, death, regeneration, and it's also a psychic house. It's a receptive house. But for the sake of this reading, let's just focus on your joint finances. First of all, we have here the Five of Pentacles in the reverse position. I feel like your money house as an individual is not looking too great with the Judgment card in the reverse. It basically means stall, delays in getting some financial payout for you. And then with the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, I feel like if you are sharing assets with another person, it's going to be very beneficial for you to alleviate financial worries and financial burdens. What I'm also feeling is, as well, the seventh house is the natural house of Libra. And I feel that you guys are very, very relationship oriented. And oftentimes you are also, you shine in relationships as well. So I feel that there's a lot of relationships blessing coming through. So business partnerships seem like it's really going to help you. It's going to be financially beneficial for you, as well as, they're saying like financial assistance coming through partners. So alone on your own, you might have some financial difficulties, but when it's linked up with another person, I feel like there's overall abundance to allow you to have a little bit of wiggle room when it comes to your spending, where you're not going to have to budget and be too strict with spending. So there is some financial abundance coming through, or the alleviation of financial burdens once you start to link up your joint assets with another person. This card usually means, being able to start saving money, the disposable income trickling in, where you're not feeling that financial lack and you're going to start to be able to save, which is great. And that's something you definitely should implement for this month. It's the beginning of the year, and usually, it's very powerful to set intentions. So even at the beginning of the year, if you consciously, set the intention that, okay, I'm going to try to save up this year. And for this month, I'm going to put in my savings, like whatever that you have that you feel you can, put away. Like it could even be $20 or, $500 or whatever the amount is. Set the, it will help actually to provide, I guess, like provide the motivation for you to keep at it throughout the rest of the year. Okay, so I do see money. You're starting to you're starting a new savings account, or money is trickling in where you have disposable income and you're starting to save. The ninth house deals with higher education. It also deals with foreigners. It also deals with philosophies and travel, long-term travel. So we have here the Six of Cups. And the Six of Cups is basically, this is a card about recognition. So I'm interpreting the cards differently based on the house that it falls in, okay? I feel like for some of you, this could be like getting an award in a school environment. So higher education for those who are in college, grad school, med school, law school. or even doing your PhD program, whatever the situation might be, there's some type of a recognition ceremony for your achievements. And even those in high school, there's some type of recognition ceremony for the work that you are doing. So I feel that, the school environment, as it comes to learning, is flowing very, very smoothly. In terms of travel as well, there might be talks and discussions about traveling to see somebody that you have known for quite some time, like reconnecting with people from the past via travel, via voyages, okay? And then having really, really pleasant emotional exchanges with people who might be of a foreign ethnic background than you, so like somebody who's a foreigner bringing in a lot of like soulful communication and emotional exchanges. And this is once again a soulmate card, and they're basically saying meeting a soulmate in unlikely places, especially in a school environment or even through travel. So this is a very, very good card overall that indicates like, if you already have this person in your life, it's basically a very strong soulmate that is hailing from a different culture, or you're meeting them in an institution of higher learning. So, go to class for those of you who are students, okay? Don't miss class. The 10th house deals with your career and your father. So let me talk about the career situation first. So you have some things here that are very, very lit up. Like the first house is very strong. The 9th house is very strong as well. And then the 7th house is really strong. So first, 7, and then the 9th house. And I feel like when the first house is very strong, your identity, you're still trying to find yourself. You're still, going through the motions, right? And then your partnership house, the 7th house, is really strong. That's the other area that you're focusing on heavily. And then your education house is very strong. So you might be, a student who is undergoing these things in your life right now. Money's not that great yet. And because money is not that great, I feel like your career, you might be in a job situation rather than a career. So you're still having trouble trying to find that right career path for you. Okay? So this is a card about suspension. It's a card about waiting for something to come into the picture. I feel honestly that you are diverting your attention towards relationships and school. And so as a result of being in school, your income generating potential is going to have to be stalled or delayed until you graduate, right? So as a result of that, I feel like your career is being put on hold. And then others of you as well, you might be self-employed and you might have a business partner. And so, the direction that the career is headed is going to be up to both partners to decide. And so as a result, you're kind of like stuck in limbo, waiting on the decision of another person, which it can be good or bad. But that's what I'm feeling here with this card when it comes to your career. So I feel like you're still trying, you're still trying to figure things out. You're in a job that you're not completely happy with, and you're still trying to find where you belong. You're still trying to find where you need to be. So I feel like a lot of you might not have had that type of a mentorship or guidance from people who are a little bit older as to what career might be suitable or what career might be appropriate for you. If you are in school, honestly see a career counselor, because I feel like this area of your chart, it looks a little bit weak, and it's going to, whatever is weak, we need to try to fix it so that it doesn't become a problem throughout the rest of the year, okay? So if you are in school or in whatever capacity, if you have access to a career counselor, something like that, definitely have a discussion with them and see what's appropriate for you. And I also want to say as well, with the father figure, the Hangman is a father figure. So as it relates to the father figure, this is somebody with a very, I want to say an alternative mentality. So somebody who's very, very different from other dads, okay? The way they live their life, the way they are, which can be good or bad. So they might be somebody who, travels a lot and is never home, for example. Or they might be somebody who's they're saying non-traditional. So it could be, a stay-at-home dad, for example. So I feel that, there is something here about the father that seems to me to be a little bit quirky, a little bit out of the norm. And as a result of that, I feel that it's somebody that can provide you a different perspective and good insights as well. But I also feel it's somebody who is not completely ambitious, and who's not like who's who doesn't really take risks, who plays it safe, and as a result of it, towards the end of like right now, if you're dealing with your father, he doesn't seem completely happy. So it's almost like somebody having to make a sacrifice in order to be a father, or fatherhood seemed to him as if it was a big sacrifice. A big sacrifice, like he had to put his dreams, aspirations, whatever on hold in order to assume the role of the father. So as a result of this, I feel that there is some like misunderstandings, or lack of understanding, or lack of ability to really to comprehend the father. So I feel that, on the one hand, the father might be in the picture, but I just feel almost as if he's so different from you that it's really hard for you to wrap your head around his intentions, his motives, and why he does the things that he does. Okay, it's almost like somebody who is an enigma, and you're racking your brain trying to figure them out. Your 11th house deals with friends and group associations. So first of all, we have the Two of Swords in the reverse position. The Two of Swords in the reverse position, I feel like you are taking an active step to be a lot more engaged with other people. So I feel like a lot of the times, I feel like Libras, you are a very, very friendly sign. You're an air sign. You're a social butterfly as well. And I feel that you're generally very, very popular among your peers. And I feel that you're very popular because you're very diplomatic. You're very unassuming, and you are able and you're capable of seeing things from other people's perspective. So you're not somebody that is confrontational. You're not somebody that is mean or combative. You're very agreeable, and people really, really like that about you. And they feel like they feel like they don't have to put their guard up when they're around you, because you're unassuming. And so I feel like a lot of the times too, you might have a wide group of friends, but when it comes to, so I feel like people flock to you. You've never had to go out of your way to make friends, for example. And I feel like sometime for this month, a lot of you might be thrust into a new environment, either a new school environment or just a new social circle. And so you're gonna have to like put yourself out there. So rather than waiting for people to approach you, I feel that you're gonna have to be put in a position where you have to approach people. So you can no longer rely on being people just automatically throwing themselves at you. I feel that you're gonna have to make your intentions known, and you're gonna have to be the one that is actually doing the active pursuit of another person, like actively pursuing friends, because I feel that this is your this might be the direction where the friendship is headed. So you might need to like rack your brain a little bit more to come up with like talking points so that you can relate better to your friends. So these things, whatever you have taken for granted in the past, where your friends are easy to come by, and they come into your life, and mainly because you're very easygoing, and they like that about you. And so I feel like for this year and for this month, the thing that's going to come through is that you're going to have to take the active role to really put yourself out there, to come up with topics, to like keep the conversation going, okay? So you're not keeping people at arm's length. You're actually letting your guard down and actively going out there and letting people in and asking people and keeping the conversation going. So you're doing more of the active role. Now, your 12th house it deals with secrets, it deals with institutions, and it also deals with, just for the purposes of this reading, something in your environment that you're not aware of. So we have here the devil, and the devil deals with addiction, it deals with restriction. So let me pinpoint exactly the areas that, okay, so what I'm feeling is this. First of all, I feel like it's related to the 3rd house. Hold on one second. Let me see. So this is something in your environment. So the 12th house is something in your environment that you're not fully aware of yet, right? So it's something that is hidden, and it's going to, the devil deals with bondage and restriction and people who are not capable of making decisions for themselves and to free themselves. So I'm going to say it's linked up with your third house, which deals with siblings. I feel like, there is some karma between siblings, you and a sibling, that needs to be kind of worked through, okay? And I feel like this is a person that is very, very stuck in their ways. They're keeping themselves isolated. They're keeping them hostage to their own rigid belief system. So if you've had a falling out with siblings, it's definitely in your best interest to try to be the first person to do that peace offering. And likewise, if you have been estranged for some time and they're reaching out to you, I feel like they really mean it. I feel that they really want to reconcile. Okay, so I feel like there's some reconciliation happening with family members and especially siblings. Likewise, I feel like, with the devil in your environment, I feel like the people around you, there's an overwhelming codependent, toxic energy where the people are either, very, very materialistic, or very, very careful of, spending more than you can afford. Be careful about squandering money that you need. Okay, so there's a overall sense of like being a slave to money, and just be very careful about that. Okay, Libras? So I feel like it's linked up here with siblings. It's also linked up with your money house here, and that overwhelming sense of wanting luxury items, but spending outside of your means. Okay, so just keep that in check. All right. I'm going to go into your love reading, and the love reading, we're using the same spread as I've done in the previous months. I have pulled out this card here because this card represents your 7th house, which deals with partnerships and relationships. So we're going to use that as a segue into the next part of the reading. So let me see what's in store for Libras for the month of this card is indicative of, child support, alimony, and things like that as well. The 6 of Pentacles, okay? Somebody giving out money to somebody else. And it's usually in a supportive way, in a more patronizing way. So I feel like child support, alimony, and, things like that as it pertains to some type of an ending in a relationship. Okay, I feel this is a card about reciprocity. So as it relates to your relationship sector, I feel like it deals heavily with reciprocity. I'm sensing that, a lot of you might have recently, give me a second. Okay, so let's go into your reading. So first of all, I feel like a lot of you have come into the reading, like carrying a torch for somebody. You have feelings for a specific person. And I feel sometime for this month, you're going to realize that they feel the same way sometime for this month. And let me pinpoint that person so that we know who it is. First of all, I feel like you might have gone on a few dates with them, with friends. So you might have gone on like a group date, right? And I feel almost as if, they are somebody who's very, very, I almost feel like they're flirtatious. And they were keeping themselves kind of like I feel like they kept flirting with you, but you weren't sure. So I keep seeing somebody like, who's not really sure about how the other person feels about them. So I feel like, if you've gone on like 2-3 group dates with them, where there was you and that person that you like, and also, a few other friends, And so they flirted with you, but they were also very friendly and flirtatious to your friends. So you're not really sure. And I feel that, that's the person that we're talking about. I feel like they feel the same way about you. So if you're carrying a torch for somebody and you've gone on those few group dates, definitely ask them out, because I feel that it's going to, your feelings will be reciprocated, okay? So that's the first thing. The other thing that I'm feeling here is we have in your foundation the Star card, and the Star card is about wishes coming true. It's a card about healing. It's a card about like having a sense of direction. It's a card about clarity. So all of these things are reinforcing that same message, where you are basically getting what you want, okay? And it's linked up here with the Three of Cups, which is opportunities for dating, opportunities for getting to know somebody. And I feel like you are interested in somebody who's quite popular. And I feel that you're kind of like sitting on the sidelines thinking, well, he or she is so popular, they have so many options. So, would they look my way, or am I enough for them? I do feel that you have reservations, and you have like convinced yourself to let it go, because so I feel like you're secretly crushing on this person. No one else knows, and you're admiring them from afar. And I feel that they're quite popular, and so as a result you feel intimidated and you didn't want to tell them. But I feel that you should tell them, because your feelings will be reciprocated. Because we have here the Ace of Pentacles, which basically means the ability to nurture something and to let it grow, so it can be the start of a very, very good deal, okay? So I feel like your feelings, whoever it is that you like, they have the same feelings. This is about, reciprocation, like reciprocity, getting the person that you like liking you back. So in the past position, we have here the High Priestess. And the High Priestess is pretty much about revelation. So revealing, like having your intentions be known, revealing your intentions, telling people how you feel, telling people what needs to be said. And if that happens, then I feel that, we have here the Ace of Wands, which is basically new spark of passion, new love, and things like that. So this is a very, very positive card, okay, overall. I feel like some of you might have been involved with a fire sign, and this is a Sagittarius, an Aries, or a Leo. And I feel like you might have gone on a few dates with them, and then I feel that you start to develop feelings for them. And I feel because of that, it can lead to a very, very good dating experience overall, okay? So there is, I feel like reciprocity as well. So they like you. So I feel fire sign right now. So which brings us to the present environment. The present environment, we have here the Seven of Swords. Seven of Wands. This is a card about defending our values, defending our honor. And this is a card about making yourself stand out. And I feel like, you like this person, and they seem very courageous, very, very exciting. And so I feel like, they have a lot of suitors. They were someone with a big network of friends and love interests. And I feel like you wanted to make yourself stand out, so that you're not just one person among the crowd of admirers. You wanted to, them to notice you somehow. But I feel coming through for this month, you're not going to need to do that anymore. By virtue of being reliable, responsible, I feel that you are going to stand out, and you're going to be able to catch their eyes and their attention. So we have here the Queen of Pentacles. This is somebody who's very reliable, and almost possessively, but I feel they hold on very tightly, and they nurture the object of their affection. Okay, so I feel that some of you might have transitioned from a fire sign now to an earth sign. So if you're currently dealing with somebody that you were trying to get their attention, you're not going to have to do that anymore, because they're reciprocating your feelings. And then likewise, if you're involved with an earth sign, I definitely feel that, they're the earth sign, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, they're the one communicating with you, coaxing you to come back to them. And I feel that you might want to, you might like go back and give it another go, because I feel like they really care about you. And like I said, once they love somebody, they hold on to it very, very protectively.